I'm sitting outside the chambers of the Pan-African Parliament, and the main discussion that was had before I sat here, they were having a motion on the escalating Afrophobic attacks against African compatriots in the Republic of South Africa. And I'm thinking, okay, now different leaders, or all the leaders from the African state are here, right? And I sat there and I cringed. Why am I cringing? Because leader after leader, most of them, when they stand up, there's one leader, for example, this leader from Nigeria, I won't mention people's names, this leader from Nigeria, he's representing Nigeria, he says, he stands up, he says, when he arrived in South Africa, within 48 hours of him being here, he witnessed two fellow Nigerians being unalived by South African police. And he says Nigeria needs to be compensated for the loss of lives of the Nigerians that were unalived by South African police. And I'm thinking, when did South African police unalive Nigerians? Like, when? In my head, I can only remember that I think in Cape Town, when they were raiding a house, that Nigerian guy, I think they said he overdosed on his own powder, and that was the result of his going. But when the South African police unalived Nigerians, then he went on to further to say that South Africa is the last hope for Africa, and what South Africa is doing is wrong. And I'm thinking, what? Then another leader stands up and says, South Africans are mentally not okay. Since they have been traumatized by apartheid, Africans need to have mercy and understand that South Africans are dealing with a lot mentally, because apparently the backlash of apartheid is only hitting us now. My anger is boiling. Another one, all of them, when they stand up, they are saying South Africans are Afrophobic, South Africans are xenophobic, South Africans must be called to book. And then some are saying, yes, we are thankful Honorable Cyril Ramaphosa acknowledged that South Africa has a crisis and South Africa is not xenophobic and they need to sort things out. And I'm thinking, nobody's addressing the elephant in the room. Thankful to Honorable Dumisani Ntuli, who stood up and said, South Africa is not xenophobic. Definitely not. But we need to address the elephant in the room. What about the crimes that non-South African immigrants are doing in the country? Talk about the powder that these Nigerians are doing. Number two, how do you come into someone's country as a visitor, then you refuse to go home? I was expecting that these leaders will tell us why their people are running away from their own countries and coming here. Why? What is pursuing them? Why? Why can't their people do what they are doing? They come to South Africa, they sit in the Pan-African Parliament, then they leave and go home. One leader even boldly stood up and said, as a Pan-African Parliament member, she has 3 children who were studying in South Africa. And because of the recent things that have happened, she's taken a 12-year-old child away and her kids have been taken back, repatriated back to their country. Huh? Guys, South Africa is not xenophobic. South Africa is not Afrophobic. Can we get that in our heads, please? Because if members of Pan-African Parliament themselves don't want to get it right in their heads, that the elephant in the room is all countries have laws, and you cannot be staying in someone's country illegally. So you come here as a visitor, then you never want to go back home. Yes. As South Africans, we agree. The problem is our government. Our government relaxed and our borders were. Our borders had a big loophole, and that's why all these people are here. So yes, the problem is our government. Our government needs to fix its immigration crisis. But while we are calling upon our government to fix its immigration crisis, we are saying, if you don't have papers, if you're not properly documented in South Africa, go home. Go and sort out your papers at home. And if the need arises that you come back because maybe you have a scarce skill, reapply the proper way. But I don't see you sitting on the side of the road saying, "What's up, mama?" calling people to do their hair. That's not a scarce skill. It's not a scarce skill to do nails. It's not a scarce skill to do makeup. No. Why can't you go do nails, hair, and makeup in your own country? Allow South Africans to fix themselves. Why? I am so disgusted at the representatives of Nigeria that are here that refuse to talk about the issue of the drugs that their people are peddling in South Africa. They are refusing to talk about it. They're even refusing to talk about how their fellow Nigerians come here and all of a sudden they are prophets and papas and daddies and they're introducing South Africa to the Marine Kingdom. Because yes, it's them who introduced South Africa to the Marine Kingdom. It's them who introduced South Africa to these fireproof ministries. All they want to highlight is that South Africa is xenophobic, it's Afrophobic. I am so unhappy about this. Huh? You are in South Africa. You are so entitled. You are selling drugs and you're going to say you're doing business. What business is that? These many internet cafes that are everywhere here. Those internet cafes are the very places you use to forge documents, forge asylum papers, do all this nonsense. You think we don't know? And as far as I know, South Africa has been marching peacefully. We have been making our voice heard. The worst is the ill treatment of South African people who are working at the Pan-African Parliament. The staff members of the Pan-African Parliament who are working here, who are South African, they are being ill-treated by other staff members who are not South African. How? Help me make that. Help me make it. Help me. Let's make sense of that. You are a South African. You are a full-time staff member at the Pan-African Parliament. You are being ill-treated by a non-South African who is also a staff member at Pan-African Parliament. And everyone's turning a blind eye. How? How come? Why should you feel the need to want to come and ill-treat South Africans in their country? One member that I was so impressed by who spoke said, instead of everybody ducking the elephant in the room, the question should be, what are we doing as members of the Pan-African Parliament that are representing different countries in Africa? He says, shouldn't we as members of Parliament representing different countries in Africa be speaking about the criminality that our people have brought and introduced to South Africa? Oh, when he started talking like that, the mic went off. They said, your time is up. I was expecting, or I'm still yet to expect, that members of Parliament here will speak to members of people from their country who are here in our country illegally to say, let's go home, let's go sort out our house in order. Nigeria has issues of defecation. People are shitting everywhere in the streets of Nigeria, and that's okay. But you're here in South Africa, you're entitled. You are very entitled. You are rude, you are selling drugs. You've got bandits there that are eating people in your country. You've got Boko Haram doing all these things. Where are your prophets? Where are your pastors? Why are they not making noise? If this means it's my last day participating in the Pan-African Parliament, and maybe they will chase me out and say, we no longer need you in the Pan-African Parliament, it's fine, but the truth must be told. Yay. If the very leaders of Africa are here in South Africa, and they are turning a blind eye to what's happening in the country, and they still continue to say we are Afrophobic, we are xenophobic, and they are not speaking about the crimes, the illegalities that their own people are bringing. Hi, not yet Uhuru. Not yet Uhuru. It's not on. One, the non-South African people who are staff members here at PAP, shape up and stop ill-treating the South African citizens who are members at PAP. Two, if the leaders of Pan-African Parliament themselves cannot be held accountable to say, what is it that's pinching your people, pursuing them out of their own countries for them to come to South Africa to run for? What's happening there? They can't tell us. Instead, all of them, when I got here, we heard there's about 3 or 4 people in our country who are unalived. There's people, South Africa needs to pay us for unaliving our people. Wow, really? Really? Why don't you tell us why your people are here selling powder? Why don't you tell us why your people are here thinking that hair salons and beauty parlors are a scarce skill? Why don't you tell us why your people are here unaliving people, raping girls? Why don't you tell us that? Why don't you tell us why your people are here opening spaza shops? No, you don't address the elephant in the room. Then they've got a memorandum that South Africa must adopt according to them. They say they strongly condemn all forms of Afrophobic violence, hate speech, intimidation, and discrimination directed against other African compatriots in South Africa. Then they say they call upon the government of the Republic of South Africa to intensify measures to protect all persons residing within its territory, regardless of nationality, and ensure that the perpetrators of Afrophobia violence are investigated, prosecuted, and punished in accordance to the law. Hey, what about your people who are selling powder? What must happen to them? As far as I know, all the marches that have happened, there's no vigilantism here. You are just creating names because you're afraid to own up that your country is the one that's supplying powder. Your country is the one that has bandits. Your country is the one that is doing gruesome crimes. Then they say they urge the African Union Commission, working through the African Commission on Human and People's Rights and relevant organs, to establish an independent fact-finding and monitoring mechanism. They want to do a fact-finding in South Africa. Whose country? Now don't give yourself an extra excuse why you must stay here longer. No. Then they say they recommend enhanced continental cooperation on migration, governance, labor, mobility, border management, and intelligence sharing. Yes, go home so South Africa can fix its border problems. Go home so we fix our migration problems. Why are you okay that you're imposing yourself on us? Then they say they call upon all civil society organizations, religious institutions, traditional leaders, educational institutions, and the media to promote peaceful dialogue and reject inflammatory rhetoric capable of inciting hatred speech against foreign nationals. No one is being violent. No one is promoting hate speech. We are just saying we acknowledge our government is the one that dropped the ball. Our government is the one that is wrong. Our government, after 2010 World Cup, yes, the borders were open. Why is Ghana not speaking about the fact that after the World Cup in Canada, there are people who went there for World Cup, now they want to go back, all of them are applying for asylum? Why aren't we talking about that? We are aware our government messed up with the borders, our government messed up with immigrations, but there's no way we will allow people who are illegal, undocumented, to continue being in the country, because we can see the country is going down. Hey. And now I must go back inside Parliament because they're continuing the debate. I am not okay, South Africans. South Africans, I am not okay. I am not okay. I'm not okay, and I am Sihle Sibisi, and everything I've said on this video, I stand by. And if the Pan-African Parliament will say, we are chasing you out, we don't want you here anymore, it's fine. I'll come back and say, they have chased me, they don't want me here, because me, I'm speaking what I'm speaking, my truth, and they don't think I'm meant to be here. Yeah, moyo ingwele, sharp, ne?